In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build out a booking bot for any contracting company. So the scripting in this video is going to be for a tree company, but you can just change the script, change the information, and relay it over as if it was any contracting company. So you can use it for remodeling, roofing companies, tree companies, painting companies. So many more different contracting companies are in this industry that you can just copy and paste this exact system. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to show you how to create an outbound caller for a contracting company. And this contracting company that I'm going to show you, it's not just a regular contracting company, it's a tree company, right? So let's go into it. I'm going to show you how to build the prompting, the make automations, the marketplace app, and even the high-level automations behind the whole system. So let's go. We're going to see right here, I already have a basic prompt built in here. And if you look at this, I'm going to kind of explain what it's doing. So at the start, we want to add a first message. So we want to be like, hey, name, how's it going? Right? Actually, instead of hey name, how's it going, ask if this is name. So, hey, is this name? Right? And then we want to switch this up and switch that. So there we go. So hey, is this name? And then the next part of it is going to be the introduction. So it's going to be like, hey, ask name, how's it going today? Then after getting a response in the day, proceed with the next step in the script. The next step is let them know your name is Linda and that you're calling since you're doing a 15% off deal for tree projects, right? And we only want to do tree projects for this one. And then ask them if they need any projects completed. If they do not need service, then proceed to project details. That's if they do need services. If they do not need services, politely thank them for their time and end the conversation. So it just identifies right away. And we don't want to super push these people. We can, but it's simple. Yes, you need services, or no, you don't need services, right? So project details. Then we want to figure out, hey, what are the details in the project they need, right? Once we get the actual details, ask them if they want to schedule an estimate. If they do, figure out their address. So then we need to pull the address. So customer's address, you must obtain the customer's address. The address is required for the in-person estimate, right? And then for this, typically we want to do a, for example, a complete address is 123 Pine Street. And then we're going to do Atlanta, Georgia. There we go. So that's a complete address. The street, which we can do street, then we can put in city, and then we put in state. But instead of state, let's do a zip code. So 30087, I think that's a zip code in Atlanta. So then we want to do zip code. Because state is pretty much useless if we already know, hey, this is a local company, they're always going to be in this state, right? And then we want to do you want to schedule an appointment? If they do, proceed to the next step. If they do not, let's try to objection handle so that they can schedule an estimate with Mario. That's the estimator in this scenario, right? So appointment details, then we need the actual appointment system. So right here is our appointment prompting. Once that is good, so after the booking has been confirmed by the tool call, ask them if the scheduled time 100% works for them, and then ask, do you have any questions for the time being, right? Very simple. So that's kind of the basic prompting that we want to utilize. So let's copy that. And then the next part is the actual tool calls. So right now, this is the tool call. We have selected slot. So right here, we don't want to submit the mobile number because this is not a mobile number scenario. For mobile number, you're going to want that for a scenario where it's like, hey, it's a website booking app and you can call on the website with a call widget. In this scenario, we don't have anything like that, right? So we want to save this. We want to make sure that this goes to the correct make automation. So to check the make automations, I'm going to make a new one because this one is using curated connector, which curated connector is great. But I'm going to show you guys the detailed system on exactly how to do it. So I'm going to take this client, for example, and I'm going to duplicate their booking one, so clone. Let's do Vapi booking agent EE for exterior excellence. Copy that, make a new webhook, save. So I'm going to copy this address to clipboard, and I'm actually just going to paste that in there. Save. Simple. And then for this one, we also want to make sure the async tool is off. If it was on, it would just trigger it, but we actually want to wait for a response. So we want to keep that off in this scenario. So if I back out real quick, go back into here, and we're going to send this into the EE folder. So EE, we did this one. This is the new one. So I'm going to delete the old one that we had in there prior. Let's open this up. So if we go in here, then we have a couple things that we actually need to connect. So right now that's sending through. Let's also make sure that the tool call is being submitted. So it looks like it is. Always better to double check that. So publish. This all looks good. Let's check the advanced. So we do need the disposition server URL, so we can do that later. So hey name, I saw you were looking for a tree estimate. Call me back and I can get you scheduled in. Simple as that. So we want to do that. These sections look pretty good. So voice, we have Dakota H. I'm very happy with Dakota H. It works well. So we want to publish that one. And this is a simple bot that books, right? So the tool call works. It looks like it's good to go. So let's actually start making it. So we want to add, and we want to start throwing this stuff in. So this one, then we have this one. We need the different scopes. 4, 5. I have 6 scopes that I want to add. So calendars.read-only, calendars.write, calendars events, read-only, so contacts, and contacts.write. So the next part, show advanced settings, scope separator, change that to space. Last part, we got to make the marketplace app. So to make a new application, I'm going to go to My Apps, and we're going to open that in a new tab just so we have it, but we want to create a new app. So EE Booking Automation. So we're going to choose agency and sub-account, create app. Now, this part is always fun. I personally don't think I have a photo that we can use for this, but what you can always do is you can go to Canva, and if you open up Canva, create a new design, custom size, 500 by 500, create a new design, and we can just throw some random gibberish in here. So just like that, save, download. This can usually be like the company's logo, but just to simplify it for us, I'm just downloading that real quick. And this is the original app, so we want to use this one, because this is the new app, EE Booking Automation. So upload that, category, advertising, EE Booking. Let's save this. Now if we go to modules, we can go to advanced settings, auth. We want to select the scopes. So calendars. Get all of these calendar ones in here. We want contacts. Contacts looks good. So the next part is we want this redirect URI. So we can actually get that if we go into the advanced settings right here. And I'm just going to use the make redirect URI to get this rolling. So paste, add, save. And we also want to click on that, save again. And then next step, client keys. So key, I'm just going to call it key. Now we have client ID. Just paste that in there. Then we want the client secret. Hit Okay. Pulls the pop-up, makes us log in. Allow. I'm just going to use my password. Send security code. Cool, so once you're fully logged in, you're going to open this up, and this is the pop-up, and we're going to choose Exterior Excellence. So right here, select that. It'll connect, so waiting for authorization, verifying, there we go. So that's all connected actually, and now we just hit OK. So this one is going to be right there. So let's say, for example, we want this, same thing. And we got to do this for every single one right now. So this is the first step. So let's get all of these connected. There we go. Cool. So now all of those are actually good to go. These all are mapped in already. This is totally fine. So the next part, we got to start mapping in the location ID. We got to put in the bearer token, all of that different stuff. So if I go into the sub account, we're going to go to settings, and then we also want to go to private integrations. So create new integration. In this one, we're going to do video integration. So create calendar right there. And we want contacts. Just like that. Create. Now we have a bearer token. So now we also want to paste this bearer token into each of these sections right here. So if I go into all of them, paste, there we go, just like that. Let's make sure they're all good. Cool. This is the last one. So now that we got all of those good to go, we're almost done. Next part, we need the location ID. So location ID is right there. Go into here. Paste that. And then most of these, this is the calendar ID for this one. So we don't need location ID. Let's check this one. Location ID is right there. Paste. Location ID is right here. This one. Location ID is right there. Location ID. Oh, that was the calendar ID. So cancel that. Yep, still good. And this one has the calendar ID too. So that part is good to go. Next, we want to go to the calendars. And for this scenario, we are going to use AI Booking Calendar Mario. That's the one we want to do. So edit. Make sure this is good to go. Cool. So this calendar ID right there. Let's start throwing this in. So this one does not have a calendar ID. This one, this is the calendar ID. There's nothing else there. So this one, there's the calendar ID. Paste. Same thing for this. Paste. And then these two also have the calendar ID. So right here at the top. And then right here. Simple. So now we also want to change like what the appointment says when it is booked. So instead of franchise conversation, this one is going to be tree estimate. Let's just call it tree estimate. And this one too. So this one we have a first name, so this bottom row is if the contact exists. This top row is if the contact does not exist. So first name slash tree estimate. Simple. So this automation should be good to go. Everything is all changed, all is good to go. And now, if you need the templates for this, we're also giving them all away in our school community. So we have every single template. It's almost 50, 100 different templates. And we're just kind of dropping it so everyone can get access to it. So if you guys ever want them for any video or anything like that, reach out to me and I'll throw you in there. So now we want this AI caller to actually make phone calls. The way to do that, we're going to go into the high-level automation. And I already have a template in here, so we want daily calls. This is what we're going to call it. Now let's actually start building this out. So we have a split. We want to move drip mode to the top actually. So move action, move it here. And then we can actually delete this drip mode. So delete action, cool. Now we have 2 phone numbers that we're calling off of. So that means we can actually make, it would be 75 calls per day per phone number. So this is about 150 calls per day using this system. Obviously, if we want more, we just add another path, but once it's been created, you can't really add more. So you can just add more paths and then it's all good to go. So this custom webhook, we actually want to get this rolling. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this assistant ID matches up to the one in Vapi. So copy that, paste it in here, just like that. And then the phone number ID, make sure that matches up too. And then you also want the bearer token, which is in the header. That stuff should be good to go. Then we want to also make sure that these fields are all good to go. So right now, I have the service, because we're asking that on the form. We have the zip code, which is asked on the form. Then we also have the name of the customer, which is asked on the form, right? So we have those 3 things, and we're actually going to send this through. So if you want to use these on Vapi, you essentially put them in like this. So it has 2 parentheses and then name. And you can see on this high level one, right here is where you name it, just like that. So now this automation will actually make phone calls off of 2 separate phone numbers. And if you want to add this into your workflow, for example, what we're going to do, we're going to go into short-term sequences, and then people are enrolled in this one. So let's open this up. This add to workflow. This action is what you're going to use in all of your sequences. And then you add them to daily calls, which is the name of that workflow that I just showed you guys. And you're just going to essentially copy this, copy action, and you drop it wherever you want it to be. So there's another one there. There's another one there. It essentially goes all the way down, right? So just like that. We already had it in there, so we're not going to save it, but that's essentially what you're going to do. The next step is the dispositions. So if I go into this disposition workflow, we want to actually disposition the lead and update the pipelines accordingly, right? So let's start making this dispositions workflow. So this one is all good to go. It would be fun to test it, so I'm going to turn that on. Let's actually test this to make sure it works properly. So let me grab my phone. So let's give this a test now. So I'm going to call this bot.
Hey, it's like this?
Yeah, it is.
Great. How's it going today?
It's going good. How about you?
Oh, living the dream. So I'm Linda, and we're doing a sweet 15% off deal for tree projects. You got any tree work you need done?
I do, but what's your company name?
We're called Exterior Excellence. We specialize in tree removal and trimming all around Atlanta. So what do you need done?
It's a removal project. It's just a couple trees in my front yard that I was looking to get cut down.
Got it. A tree removal project. to schedule an estimate for that?
Sure.
Awesome. I just need the address where the trees are located. What's yours?
So my address is 13557 Pine Street.
All right, 13557 Pine Street. Let's get you scheduled for an estimate. Are you open to discussing options with Esteban?
Yeah, I am.
Just a sec. Here's what we got. October 29th at 8 a.m., October 30th at 1 p.m., October 31st at 7 p.m. Any of these work for you?
How about 7 p.m.?
One moment. Looks like that slot's not available anymore. How about we try October 30th at 1 p.m. instead?
Yeah, go for that.
This will just take a sec. Awesome. Your appointment is all set for October 30th at 1 p.m.
And it booked. So very simple. That's essentially how the booking automation works. If it goes this way, you can see it'll essentially book. It'll send the response back to Vapi. Say, great, your appointment has been booked. And then you saw that error that went through. I was testing it, and it said selected slot not available here. So you can always check in the data and find the error, right? And then it'll go down this way, provide some more available times using this route. So this route is essentially the exact same thing as these, but it's an error handle to make sure, hey, if it hasn't actually been booked, then it will know that it hasn't been booked and provide some additional times. So that's essentially how this booking automation works. And then the top route is if the contact does not exist. This bottom route is if the contact does exist. So we can go into here and we can check that phone number. So that phone number is going to be 734-316-8619. Now let's check if it actually booked. Just like that. October 30th, 4 p.m. It booked on the calendar and everything. Simple. So that's how all that works. Now, the last part, we want to actually set up the dispositions, and we want to actually collect the address of the customer. So the easiest way to do that is I'm going to copy this disposition workflow. So clone this, dispositions EE video. We're going to copy that, add a new one, new webhook, same thing. So save. Copy address to clipboard, cool. Now let's back out. Let's actually move this automation over. So do that, move the folder, EE, there we go. So now we have the dispositions EE workflow. Now if we go into here, we only want a couple of these things. So this one sends it back to lead connector. This one, we don't really need this for now. We don't need this. In this scenario, we need these three, and we also need one more that's going to go right here. So add a module, GPT. And what we want to do is transform text to structured data. So what this is going to do for us, this is going to collect the address of the customer's address. So text to parse, this one is going to be the transcript. So transcript is right there. Your job is to collect the transcript from the, or collect the address from the transcript of the call. So structured data definition is what we're going to use. Now we want to make sure this parameter required is off. Otherwise, it'll just start bringing in random addresses, random things. Customer address. So description. Oh. The address of the customer's property. So data type, this is text. Some value examples, 13557 Pine Street, Atlanta, 7. So let's make 2 more examples. Let's do that, and then Main Street. Hampton GG. $3004. 5436. And let's do a 3-digit. So this one we have a 5-digit, 4-digit, and then sometimes there's also going to be a 3-digit. So now we want to do a random street name. So we can do Myrtle Road, and then Douglas, GA, 3005. We need another 0. There we go. So that will actually collect the address. So we have the pipeline in one, address in the next. Now we actually want to map this field through. So to map it, add this customer address, and just like that. Save that action. Now we also want to copy address, send this into here. So advanced, paste, save that. Cool. So now this will actually send the address all the way through, but now we want to map it into the dispositions workflow. So if I go into here, AI caller, call dispositions, let's send all this data through correctly. So just like this, copy, and we want to paste that into here, just like that. Now let's send a test through. Perfect. And then for this test, we need to remap it. So 1028, that's remapped. Create contact. Let's make sure this phone and everything is 100% correct. It should be, but it's always worth double checking. So I'm going to throw this up here. This one, we want customer number. So that creates the contact. Next one, we want the pipeline. Next, we want summary. And then we also want call recording. And then let's throw address into here. Simple. So we always want a math operation to actually count. So we do a math operation, number of calls, add 1, update field. Just like that. And then it sends us notifications if the lead is in scheduling or actually a booked appointment. Very simple. So this is the dispositions. So let's test this out and make sure, hey, we actually get this running. 734-316-8619. Now let's book another appointment to make sure it all goes well. And then let's see if the customer populates into the notes. Hello? Hello?
Hey there, how's it going today?
It's going good. How about you?
Oh, living the dream. So I'm Linda, and we're doing a sweet 15% off deal for tree projects. Got any tree work you need done?
Yeah, I have a tree removal estimate that I need done on my property.
Awesome. What's the scope on the project? Need a tree trimmed or totally removed?
Totally removed.
Got it. A full tree removal. Do you want to schedule an estimate for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. I'll need your address for the estimate. What's the property address?
13557 Pine Street.
And what's the city and zip code for that address?
I am out in Douglasville, 30004.
Perfect. Let's get you on the schedule to discuss options with Esteban. Cool?
Yeah.
Hold on a sec.
So let's end it there. I'm not going to fully book. I want to make sure that these disposition workflows go all the way through. So if we give it 1 second, we should see it actually populate. looks like there might be some sort of error. Let's copy this address again. Let's check. So it should be into here. That all looks correct. That's interesting. Nothing was sent. So let's refresh this page. This is part of just troubleshooting Vapi, and I like showing people this because nothing is ever perfect. So this all looks good. Okay. So let's try to use existing data. Yeah, so it just took a second because this is the address that I gave it, just like that. And now let's check this. So if we check the notes, appointment booked, gave this information, there we go. Just like that. That's essentially how to create this all and get it all running for a contracting company. So after watching that video, you should have a clear understanding on exactly how to use all the different automations and create a booking bot for a contracting company. So that video goes through the entire step-by-step process from building the prompting, building the tool calls, the make automation, the marketplace app, and even the high-level automations behind the system. So you're probably wondering, hey, where can I get these snapshots? Where can I actually get the templates that you're using for all of these videos? And I'm throwing all of the templates, all the different snapshots into this course. So this is a new course and kind of community module. So we're adding all the snapshots, blueprints, web snippets, a Stripe rebilling system for your customers, make automations, Vapi prompting, knowledge base, and some of our copywriting information. So if you want access to all of this, message me on school, email me, or just reach out to us, and we'll send you the invite link so you can join in yourself. And after that, if you have any other questions, feel free to book in down below. We're also doing white label service delivery for agencies, and we're white labeling for actual companies at a discounted price. So if you're looking for bot build outs or anything like that, book in down below and we'll happily help you out.